As a practice owner, when thinking of how to grow your business, the first thought that comes to mind is probably, to get more revenue, we need to add more clients. Out of the 4 ways to increase revenue, this is the one that most often is top of mind. But what a lot of therapy practices overlook or are unaware of is how they are missing out on adequately serving their current client base. And that can be a key to unlocking unrealized revenue. This is where Ambiki can really help. We've developed a unique tool called pacing. Ambiki can help you grow your revenue within your current client base. Simply put, this isn't related to upselling your clients more services. This is strictly about optimizing your practice to make sure your clients are getting seen to their current medically recommended and legally mandated visit frequencies. At one practice we consult for, on average, over 30% of IEP mandated visits were going unrealized. Why does this happen? Is anyone to blame? Is it even avoidable? Let's work through an example. Imagine we have a patient whose IEP specifies 8 visits per month, 4 30-minute language sessions and 4 30-minute speech sessions. Our therapist typically sees this client on Monday and Thursday, so they have scheduled recurring appointments out into the future on those 2 days. At this point in time, everything seems great. We are actually scheduled for 9 visits in January, so we should be all set, right? We even have some buffer built in. We only need 8. Well, once we take into consideration the school holiday schedule for this client, we see that we are now down to only 6 actual appointments. Jump to look at what actually happened, and we see that our patient was sick on the 16th. Thus, we ended up with only 5 visits for the month of January. That's a 37.5% unrealized visit rate. What went wrong? We can't blame the therapist. They had planned ahead and scheduled their recurring visits. With a caseload of 30 to 40 clients, it's impossible to think through every holiday and absence and how it might affect that patient's mandated visits. This is where Ambiki comes in. Ambiki's technology helps in 2 specific ways. Upfront, Ambiki's scheduling tool ensures that school holidays, visit mandates, and the potential for patient absences are all taken into account when helping therapists to easily and seamlessly create and manage their schedule. Additionally, Ambiki's caseload and pacing tools allow therapists to see who is behind pace, and this allows them to adjust when they do have an opening in their schedule. For example, one of your clients canceled today. Sort by pacing on your caseload and pull the kid who is furthest behind pace. What do we mean by pace? That's a great question. Let's go back to our example. There are 18 business days in the month, and we have 8 mandated visits we need to cover. That means we need to see this client about once every 2 business days. If we overlay that onto a timeline, that means by the 17th of the month, we need to have seen our client 4 times to be on pace. By the 27th, 6 times, etc. That is pacing. Based on the current day of the month or week, are you ahead or behind on visits to meet that client's mandated frequency? In our previous example, our therapist was on pace as of the 13th, but then started to fall behind pace around the 16th of the month. Ambiki's interface would have given this therapist real-time data that could have helped them ultimately make it back on pace. At Ambiki, we've studied this area extensively and have a lot of data to back up our research. The graph here shows how for an IEP frequency of 8 times per month, how often a therapist makes it to at least the first visit, about 100% of the time, all the way down to how often a therapist is able to get to 8 full visits a month, less than 20% of the time. With Ambiki, our therapist would have been able to create a more idealized schedule, taking into account school holidays, potential absences, as well as their own and the client's availability. Are unrealized visits avoidable? Not completely, but with Ambiki's pacing tool at your disposal, your practice can make big strides on reducing unrealized mandated visits and increasing revenue. It's a win-win-win. Therapists spend less time puzzling over their schedule, clients see better and more consistent progress, and practices earn more revenue while better serving state and federal requirements. Try out Ambiki's EMR today and see for yourself how it can help improve your practice and the lives of the clients you serve.